Hello peeps and welcome back to Modded Minecraft with Nightdagger. We're on episode 9 of season 5 and I've done a little bit of work. I did some work off camera and I moved. First of all, I went ahead and rebuilt this entire thing out of chiseled cobblestone with a nice marble floor. I went ahead and moved all of my stuff over here. I've got some barrels here now for some of my more plentiful resources. Moved all my furnaces. I brought my creosote tank over. And I upgraded some of the chests to diamond chests so that I have a little more storage space. Also moved all of my tinker stuff. There are still some things over there that I didn't get yet. I need to get my smeltery and the bee stuff and all of the immersive engineering stuff that I just built. My botany setup, stuff like that. Need to get all that, but first I wanted to show you guys something that I've been doing off camera. Now, a lot of people, when they go for infinite water sources in the game, especially if they're putting it to like agricultural or some sort of hydroelectric power, they all take the cheating way out. Well, cheating, not as in like actual literally cheating, but they use the 2x2 water source with pumps, or they use aqueous accumulators, or stuff like that that magically produces water out of nowhere. I've decided I want something a little bit more rustic feeling. Therefore, I went digging in the nearby mountainside, and I found a mountain spring. By that, I mean I dug a hole in the side of the mountain and put a bucket of water in there. Don't tell anyone. But I have now started building an aqueduct to bring the water from that mountain spring out closer to my base so that I can do something with it. In other words, I wanted an excuse to build something really cool looking. So, I'm building something really cool looking. And I'm saving the last part of it to do on camera because I want to show you guys one of the neat things that you can do with Immersive Engineering. We take some hardened clay, put it in the corners. With some copper ingots, we get LV wire connectors. And then here, I've got some industrial hemp that I grew off camera, and a few sticks. We combine the sticks with the industrial hemp. We get hemp rope coil, which is for decorative purposes only. Now, if we take a look at my aqueduct here, it looks nice and stable except for this end out here. This section out here looks like it could fall. Looks like it's not very structurally sound. So we're going to spend the first part of the episode fixing that. We're going to grab a couple of bites of my apples. And then we're going to come over here. We're going to climb the side of the mountain. We're going to walk down the length of this aqueduct, and we're going to shore up its structural strength a little bit. Now, how we're going to do that is we're going to put up a couple of posts right here. It doesn't have to be anything like too grand. We're just going to go like that. And then we're going to put some LV wire connectors on the side. We'll drop down, put some more LV wire connectors right at the end here, and then we'll take our hemp rope coil. You can't attach this wire here. Why can't I attach the wire there? What kind of connector do I need? Redstone, ME dense, LV, MV, HV, structural cable connector. That's what I need. Steel and steel fences for structural. Are you kidding me? Okay, well, that's fine. It's fine. We'll need these things at some point anyway. I guess I'll just have to go get the steel I made up. This is part of what I get for wanting to do something on camera, I guess. Especially when I haven't tested it off camera. I haven't done any playing around with this cool stuff yet, so Yeah, I did a tiny little bit of work with industrial or immersive engineering off camera just so I understood how the mod worked, but I haven't really done any test builds or anything. So far, the only off-camera testing that I've done has been a little bit of playing around with immersive engineering so that I understand the basics of the mod works, how the power loss works, how the different generators work. I did a little tinkering around with RF tools so that I understand a couple of the basics on how it works, but not a whole lot, mostly just the screens, and even then only one module for the screens really. And get my steel ingots out of here. And I did do a little bit of work on mod interactions between Agricraft and the other mods, particularly progressive automation and Minefactory Reloaded. I tested those. We'll get into the results of that when I actually get around to making the farm, which will be this episode, at least the beginnings of the farm. We might not hit full-scale automation with it or anything like that, but we'll at least get the farm up and running. Unfortunately, one of the downsides of the fact that I don't do cutaways is that sometimes it takes a little while to do things. I really need a better source of food than these apples. So I want to get the cool looking build done so that we can get on with the necessary one. Alright, so we're going to need some steel fence. And we'll need some more steel, and it's going to give us our structural cable connectors, which I guess is what we actually need. Text message. I will read that while I walk up. And I will respond to it after I'm done with the episode. One of my friends is having a bad day at work, and as for her reaction to it, she is quote-unquote not fucking happy. Alright, so we're going to take the structural cable connectors and we're going to plop them down on top of there. We're then going to come back here, we're going to put a couple more on there. We're going to link some hemp rope in between those, just like that. Then, on the end, I'm going to put two more. And we're going to link them. This should look really freaking cool. Oh, I don't like that. It'll be fine. It's not something I'm going to see all the time, so let's go down and take a look at this from ground level and see how it looks. Four apples just to do that. Holy crap. That looks so cool. Yeah, I like that. I wish I could get the slack out of the rope a little bit, but I do like that. Alright. Night's about to fall, so we'll go put the rest of our hemp rope away. We'll sleep through the night, and we will start the next part of our build. I want a farm setup. And to that, I've got a bunch of perfect 10 seeds. I should have a bunch more of them in here somewhere. It's not them. There. I've got 25 perfect 10 seeds. I should also have 25 crop sticks. And in one of these chests, I should have my mattock. There it is. But I want my farm to grow a little faster. So, we are... Hello. We are going to make use of the water that I just piped out here to build something also cool. Get us some more wood. And if you guys saw me in one of the previous episodes trying to build a bowl and it didn't work, it gave me these things instead. Well, you're about to see what these things do. We take and do that. This is going to give us a wooden water tank made out of oak wood planks. We actually want 18 of these things. Might actually want more than that, I don't know. Could do... Yeah, we've got the wood. Let's go ahead and do 50 of them. Alright. We're going to want a little bit more. We're going to break down into sticks. And these sticks are going to make us some fences. Because we need something for the legs. Then we're going to take a few more of these things and we're going to make irrigation channels. And the last thing we're going to do is we're going to make a sprinkler, which is iron, a bucket, some iron bars, and wooden plank. Now, I should still have some iron bars around here, shouldn't I? Could have sworn I had to make iron bars for something. No? Oh well. I'll make a few more. There we go. Iron bars. We're going to make a bucket because the bucket gets consumed by the recipe. There we have our sprinkler. Alright. We're going to come out here and directly under this water tank, this water channel here, we're going to set up right here. That is directly under the edge, so I want it right here. Centered on this block. We're going to have wooden water tanks, which we're just going to put right like this. Okay, 5, 2, 3, 3. Once I do this, it'll recognize that, hey, I'm a 5x5. I'll do us a little bit of this. There we go. We have a wooden water tank with a capacity of 400 buckets. Around the outside of this, we're going to put wooden planks. we're going to go up a level because we want a lip on this thing. There we go. Now we've got a lip, and up here we're going to punch a hole in the bottom of our aqueduct. That's going to start pouring water out, which should start filling our water tank. Now, ow. Watch it not work. I mean, if need be, I'll put an infinite water source up there to make it work. Or I'll like hide an aqueous accumulator in it, or something like that. You know, something that makes it still look good. But, okay. Need to put a couple of planks up here so that I can do that. That looks good. One more. Yeah, that's not working. I'll have to cheat. But it's okay. I mean, it still looks very convincing, doesn't it? Even if I'm going to cheat a little bit, it still looks good. So we're going to need a couple of buckets so we can do an infinite water source. There's a bucket. Saw some iron in one of these. There we go. There's a second bucket. We'll get an infinite water source. We'll put the infinite water source inside the tank, and that will work. Or rather, it should. I guess I shouldn't say it will, because I thought the first one would work. Alright. Dang it, no. Water. Water. Okay, that should give us an infinite water source. This is still not filling. Okay, we'll need an aqueous accumulator. I don't like the idea of having to do an aqueous accumulator in here, but we'll do it. Okay, aqueous accumulator. Bucket, machine frame, stained glass, copper gears, pneumatic servo, glass, iron. Got plenty of stuff to do it. We'll toss everything that we're not immediately using in there. We're going to need some tin, gonna need some copper, we'll need some redstone, some glass. Once I find them, there's my glass, there's some redstone. Alright. Tin gear, copper gears, servo, machine frame, accumulator. Apparently they updated that because flowing water over the Agricraft aqueduct used to work. As did infinite water sources. So, it not working is new. Going up. And I'm just going to hide the aqueous accumulator right here. We're telling it can output to down. There we go. Now we're getting water in our water tank. Now I want my farm to be out this way. So to the bottom of this, we're going to attach a wooden irrigation channel. We're going to need to bring that out a little further. Now, the thing isn't filling yet because this tank actually has to reach a certain level of fill before it'll start outputting. Right now it's only at 33 buckets out of 400 buckets. I think it has to reach at least 200 buckets before it'll start outputting, half the tank's capacity. So in a way, having a large tank like that is actually hurting us a little, but I don't really care. Okay, and if we look, we're actually starting to get water in our irrigation channel. Alright, so this is going to be the center of our field. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Right here, I'm going to punch a hole in the ground. We're going to put a water bucket there. Bucket of water. And there we go. Okay, I can't go any further than 4 off of this source, so we're going to need another source on the other side. Just come over here and grab a bucket out of the ocean. There we go. And I broke my mattock, damn it. Flint. Flint. It's not flint, it's stone. There we go. and we're tilled. Directly above us, on the bottom of this, we're going to put this sprinkler. And we get a cool little particle effect from that. It's spraying water all over the place for us. I put my damn crop sticks away. We'll put everything else away because we don't need any of that at the moment. And on this field, we're going to put wheat. There we go. We have wheat seeds growing. Some of it has already started to get growth ticks from the sprinkler. So that's awesome. We're going to have a lot of wheat going for us pretty soon. But we're not done yet. Like I said, I did some off-camera testing to see exactly what mods were able to interface with Agricraft. And I didn't test forestry, but I did test both Progressive Automation and Minefactory Reloaded and discovered that they do both work with Agricraft, and they work as expected. So, we are going to skip Progressive Automation because, honestly, I looked at doing Progressive Automation because I like the early game feel of Progressive Automation. But in order to get my setup to a place where it would actually be functioning at a reasonable rate of speed, I was going to end up having to spend about 50 diamonds. Yes, that's a 5-0. So I decided that was a little bit expensive just for a mod for feels, and yeah. We're just going to go straight for MFR on this one. Now, the downside to going to MFR is that I do not have a reliable way to power it yet. That we're going to be working on next episode. For this episode, we're going to get the machine that we need to interface with it, which is going to be the harvester. The harvester takes a pair of shears, 2 Invar axes, a machine frame, a couple of golden gears, a reception coil, and some plastic sheets. Plastic sheets are made from raw plastic, which is made from rubber. So we'll wait for a couple more rubber bars. We'll get them cooking up. In the meantime, we're going to need a bit of gold, which is in one of my other chests. We're going to need a new pair of shears, because the shears that you use for this have to be pristine. We're going to need our glass back, and we're going to need a bit of redstone again. We're also going to need 6 ingots of Invar, which I just happen to have, and 4 sticks. The Invar is going to get turned into Invar axes. Fresh pair of shears. Need a little tin. Tin for the tin gear. Machine frame. This is going to get us 4 raw plastic, which is going to make 4 plastic sheets. And this is going to get us, oh, missed part. Missed another part. That's going to get us, still no? Redstone reception coil, 2 golden gears, machine frame, 2 plastic sheets, pair of shears, 2 Invar axes. There we go. Harvester. Got it. For aesthetics, we're going to have the harvester right over top of this, so that it's going to obscure the water. Now, I'm going to have to tweak this, apparently, because it didn't want to do what I wanted it to, of course. Let's go get my crescent hammer. Crescent hammer, where are you? There you are. Watch the crescent hammer not be able to interact with it. Oh, nope, it can't. Good. Alright. Break that off, and there we go. We have a harvester set up, which looks absolutely awesome. Well, the harvester really doesn't, but the rest of this does. Alright. Let's go ahead and get started with how we're going to power this thing. Now, I did some thinking about it, and I've decided that I want to power the harvester with water power. We're going to grab some wood, we're going to break it down into planks, and we're going to get a bucket of creosote. A bucket of creosote, combined like that, is going to get us treated wood planks. Now, if we take some glass and do that, we should be able to get glass bottles, which we should be able to fill up with creosote oil so that we can get wooden planks faster. Just like that. Take treated wooden planks, put them like that, you get treated sticks. Four treated sticks and 3 treated planks gets you water wheel segments. We need 4 more. There we go. That gets us 12 water wheel segments. The water wheel itself is 4 of those around a treated plank. We're going to get 3 water wheels total. Now, we are going to need a kinetic dynamo. A kinetic dynamo is a copper wire coil, some redstone, and some iron. We're going to need some copper. We're going to need some sticks. 4 copper. Where are the sticks I just grabbed? Apparently I didn't actually grab them. 4 copper around a stick gets you copper wire coils. This copper wire coil here is iron with 8 wire around it. So we need 4 more of these. And we put that around some iron. That gets us our copper wire coil. Holy crap, I can't talk. 2 pieces of redstone. 3 pieces of iron, and that coil gets us a kinetic dynamo. Right? Right. Now, on the other side, hello creeper. I really don't want you to blow up all my stuff. Follow me, please. Come here. Come here. Boom! Get wrecked. That's fine. You didn't destroy anything. I don't care. Alright. Over to this side. This is where I'm going to put my water wheels. Alright? In order to do this, I need to dig a hole in the ground. If I remember right, these things are 5x5. So, we put the kinetic dynamo there. We dig out a 5x5, just like that. We should be able to put our water wheels on there. We're going to dig a couple more out just for aesthetic's sake. And I think I'm also going to have to go a couple more down. Or at least one more down. Of course, I didn't bring anything that actually works as a shovel. There we go. Put some dirt there. And now we're going to get up here. We're going to have a wooden plank there and one there. Here we're going to have a lip, just like that. And I'm suddenly not happy with where this aqueous accumulator is, so we're going to move him. I'm just going to put him right there. We are going to break out the bottom here. And then we're going to tear out the side. Now, how's that looking? Oh yeah, that looks good. And how about that? Our water even falls off into a chasm. So, we have a water well running here. I'm not happy about that. So let's see if we can cut off that. There we go. Now, that should be producing power in our kinetic dynamo. If you look on top of here, there's a little thing on top where you can put a cable or a connection. That's exactly what we're going to do. Remember those LV connectors I made? Well, we're about to put them to use. Grab 2 of those LV wire connectors. We're going to make ourselves another bit of copper wire coil. And on this harvester, we're going to put an LV wire connector on top of that. I'm going to put one on top of that. We're going to link the 2 together. And we have power going into this thing. check it out. We have an automated farm. Now, there's one last thing we need to do with this thing in order to get it working perfectly. And I should have just enough time in this episode to do it. First of all, we're going to want a chest. Because, actually, you know what? I'm going to use one of the iron chests that I have. As soon as I find them. I know I've got a bunch of iron chests. There's one. But we're also going to need to upgrade the radius of that thing. Because by default, that thing has a maximum radius of 3 by 3. The field it's on is a 5 by 5. We need to increase the radius by 2. So we need to add a tin upgrade, which is 3 raw plastic, golden nugget, 3 tin, and a couple of redstone. So we need to process just a little bit more of this. We need a gold nugget, which we happen to have right there. We need 3 tin bars. We need 2 redstone. We'll get this processing to save us a little time. There's our 3 raw plastic, 3 tin, 3 raw plastic, 2 redstone, and a gold nugget is a tin upgrade. We bring the tin upgrade out here. I'll put the iron chest right there. Put the tin upgrade in here. It can now see the entire field, and if we watch, we'll see it going through and picking our crops for us. And that thing is actually producing plenty of power to keep this thing running full tilt. That is awesome. Renewable water power for a farm. I am very proud of this build. I like this. I like how this looks a lot. There is one small problem we're going to have to handle here. We're going to be accumulating some sludge, and quite honestly, I don't feel like putting it through a sludge boiler, so I'm just going to avoid it. There is a liquid trash can now. It's just a trash can with a bucket. Trash can is stone, cobblestone in a chest. So all I'm going to do to handle the sludge problem is I'm just going to put a fluid duct coming out the side, put a servo in it, connect it to a fluid trash can, and just void it. Because I don't see a need to do anything with sludge if we're not going to, do anything with sludge. But letting it accumulate in there is not going to work, because if this thing gets too full on sludge, the field starts harvesting slower. The machine starts working slower, so we want to take care of that. But I think we've accomplished a lot this episode, and I think it's about time to call it. So we're going to call episode 9 here, and next episode, in episode 10, I think we are going to set up some Pam's Harvestcraft stuff. We're going to make ourselves some cooking utensils. We're going to possibly see about getting another field or 2 going, because I think our water wheel is going to produce plenty of power to get at least 1, maybe 2 more fields going. So we may as well use it, But we're going to see about doing that next episode, and that should take care of our hunger problem once and for all. For right now, though, this has been Nightdagger with episode 9 of Modded Minecraft with Nightdagger Season 5. Hope you guys are enjoying the series so far, and I hope you guys like this build as much as I did, because I think this is honestly, this is one of the cooler things I've done. So, but yeah, I will catch you later, peeps.